this movie has slimy producers trying to exploit the success of the first one written all over it.
Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, in Mission Impossible. What's Emilio Estevez's character's name?
Fuck you. His name is Fuck
he's
You,
dead
Dave.
somewhere.
That's what his fucking name is.
Not even memorable enough for you to remember what they're called.
Honestly, go fuck yourself.
And I can't help that Woody wrote Andy a note in Toy Story 3. If I got a note that said, "Hey Jeff," and it turned out that it was that is literally the premise for Chucky.
Hey there, film fans. I'm Jeff.
I'm Dave.
I'm John, and welcome back to The Love of Cinema, a pod in which we challenge one another to discuss movies both new and old with a strictly positive critical eye.
That's right. And to avoid any lazy negativity, we are making this a drinking game.
Oh, yes, we did.
Yeah. Any negative criticism about a film is absolutely allowed, but it will be called out. You will hear this sound.
Drink!
That means that we are drinking, and we would love it if you at home would drink along too.
Cheers.
So pour yourselves a glass, join us and give us up for the films we love, and the films that need some love, we'll find out. We'll find out if they need some love. It's Christmas.
out.
Everyone gets love.
Yeah. So last week we did the
some
family-friendly Christmas movies podcast, where we talked about Home Alone, Christmas Vacation, and the original Miracle on 34th Street. Several films, which I saw in the list of the greatest Christmas films of all time. Number one is This American Life. Jesus Christ. Number one was It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a wonderful life.
But whatever. There were a couple that were 100%. Miracle on 40. Jesus.
Get there. Hold on, do it.
do it. Go on. Get it out.
Miracle on 34th Street was number 2 with 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Doesn't matter. We are now doing the not family-friendly Christmas episode.
This is known as the Christmas films you definitely can't watch with your family and quite frankly have fuck all to do with Christmas.
Put the kids to bed, roll a joint, pour your drink, and watch these fucking movies.
And Jeff's going to laugh in a second
that's
because he's
it.
got the feed and he didn't know that title was coming.
I didn't. Oh, damn it. Wait. Anyway, wait. Oh shit! I did. Nice, Dave. Shout out to Alex Trebek. It looks like a Jeopardy category. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
anyway,
films that have fuck all to do with Christmas. Thanks for 300.
yeah, that's right. Let's before we dabble on too much, let's go over to John so we can get through our shout outs.
Yes.
Shout outs as always. Boom. Our beer sponsor is Carlos Barroso. He's based out of Queens, New York. You can give him a follow. The handle is C Barroso Bar 2019. That's CBARROZOBAR 2019. And as always, the music you hear on this episode and every single fucking episode is provided by the artist Dasein. That's Dasein, Dasein. You can find all the music available for free downloads at soundcloud.com/Dasein-artist. Real quick note, to you two motherfuckers, Carlos texted me today. He has brews for both of you ready to go. So he basically was like, just hit me up, tell him we can figure out a way to drop off, hand off. He's got a whole fucking bunch of beer for the podcast just for us.
Oh.
So I definitely want you guys to figure out a way, if you can, to grab it from him, because
Yeah,
I think
what
he
a way to
made
ring
it
out the
just
year.
for us, just for the pod. I think he
Oh,
made
come
labels
on.
and everything. So you got to get that beer. Anyway,
Carlos,
let's do it.
don't
let's do
tease
it.
me. I have an SUV, Carlos. I have an SUV.
I know. Dude, please go get it and show me what it looks like so I can imagine drinking it with you guys. Anyway,
Yeah,
back
I'll
to you,
take a picture
Jeff.
of what it looks like. All right. Well, yeah, we're gonna get to the Christmas movies, but let's just go around quickly and talk about any news or anything you've been watching lately. Dave, you want to get us started?
Well, I mean, I like everyone. I think I finished Mandalorian this week. I'm not going to spoil it, but holy crap, what a way to go out! Like,
Really?
if you haven't, if you watched the final episode and you didn't stay till after the credits, go back and watch it after the credits. There's an after credits scene.
Nice.
Go back.
Are there usually teasers at the end?
No, there are not.
Because I always skip the credits in Mandalorian.
And I started watching Queen's Gambit finally, so I could find out what
Yeah,
everyone was talking about.
fun.
And yeah, they were right. Everyone was right.
It's just
Is it
fun.
good?
Yeah,
Nice,
so
dude.
good. Yeah,
Nice.
That kid really wants those green pills. That child wants the green.
that is the
pills.
funniest sequence so far. Like, the great thing about the show as well is like she is just as good as the adult version of the character, so it's consistent the whole way through. Like the performance is consistent, but it's two different actresses.
Nice.
Dave, clear this up for me. We were talking last week in our news section, in this little section, we were talking about how Warner Brothers pushed back all their, or they decided to release everything for 2021 on streaming.
Yeah.
Dune is now scheduled to come out, HBO Max. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Dune is now scheduled to come out in October 2021. Does that literally mean even if we're safely allowed to go back to theaters, they're not going to release some of the later slated movies in theaters?
At this point, yes. They went blanket coverage across the board. I'm willing to bet as the year rolls on, they'll roll that back a little.
Yeah.
Because...
Could be a gamble.
Yeah, I mean...
Could be a gamble.
Yeah, it's a case of, like, if we get to October and we're still not out of this, then, okay, we got bigger problems. But...
Right.
If we get to October and they drop that thing on HBO Max to try and drive subscribers instead of the $1 billion that's probably going to make it the movies, I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah, I will be livid. That's not cool. I just wanted to clarify that because I did not quite understand that last week.
I will specifically not watch it on HBO Max and go to the movies to see that on the screen. I'm not going to.
For sure.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Anyway, I just wanted to ask about that. I went into a series mode. Around this time of year, I usually sit down and treat myself to fun movies because I tend to watch heavy art house drama a lot throughout the year. So as well as these movies, I watched the first 3 Harry Potters and the first 3 Marvel movies.
Wow.
So that's what I did with my week, as well as these 3. I watched 9 fucking movies this week, you guys. I don't have a lot to do this week. So
jeez.
It's been fun. I like doing it. Are Harry Potter Christmas movies to you guys? Does that count?
I mean,
that fucking count?
Not really. No, it's not. I noticed this week also they dropped the opening of Wonder Woman 1984 on YouTube. Like the opening scene was on YouTube for free to try and drive subscribers again. They're really pushing this hard.
It's doing bad in China. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that. I mean, China released one of their films at the same time up against it, and of course it slammed it.
Wow.
But
holy shit.
$32 million
the other big news this week,
good.
Tenet is finally available to rent January 5th, 2021. We got
to do a watch party.
You can get it video on demand. You can get it video on demand right now, but it's available to rent January 5th. Tenet.
Can we rent it on Prime Video and do one of our watch parties?
I'm not sure.
We have to.
I don't know
if we can. We have to.
No, I don't think it's only if it's actually on Prime itself, not if you rent it.
Either way, we should at least should sync up and at least have a little. We should do a talkback show, a quick little special show right after we all watch it, and then we got to get it out of our system. We've been building up too much.
Tenet,
Chris Nolan, if you hear us,
and everyone can watch it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
all right.
Yeah.
I started Mandalorian because I've been behind, as everybody knows, a little grad school semester and stuff, and it is great. But then I had to watch 3 movies, and I really wanted to watch something new. I've been trying to last week I watched The Prom, not exactly what I was hoping. So it's I watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom yesterday, and it is good. It's really good. This is Chadwick Boseman's final film, but it's also an incredible performance by Viola Davis. There's a lot of award buzz with this movie. So I've been watching the awards buzz. I'm not going to get into it, but it is definitely going to be a very diverse lineup based on everything that's doing really, really, really well right now, which is great for everybody. My one question is, what is Steve McQueen? Just won some awards from, LA Critics, and not any big awards, but he's winning for an Amazon. I guess he's calling them 5 individual movies. They're called small acts, and it's based on it's based on a poem or a quote that became a Bob Marley song. That it's well, if you're a large tree, then I'm a small axe. And they're 5 movies, right? They don't necessarily overlap in any way, shape, or form, but apparently they're being considered films, individual films. If everything else on Netflix is considered a film, then these can each individually be considered for films, and they're winning awards. So I don't know if the whole award system is going to get fucked by this kind of stuff, but also there's a lot of talk
we've thrown everything else on its head this year. Why not fuck that as well?
Yeah, exactly. Also, Netflix might get 5 Best Picture candidates this year. So streaming has just totally rat fucked the award season, which is, I guess, a good thing because it means that we can watch all these good movies. But anyway, so I watched Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Chloe's watching Shrill, and I've seen a little bit of it, and it's really good with Aidy Bryant on Hulu. But yeah, that's it. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is the big one. Go see it. It's on Netflix. Do yourself a favor. It's awesome.
Mank is out too, isn't it?
Mank is out.
Mank is out. Yeah.
Weeks,
and Uncle Frank
that was one I meant to get to this week, and there just wasn't time. But maybe next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it this week.
I got holidays coming up.
Holidays. Well, hey,
Yeah,
let's do it. Let's
yeah.
send people away with some naughty movies to watch for the holidays. Ready to do it?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, people, we're going to start with Bad Santa. All right, 2003, Billy Bob. We are going to then head over to The Ref, which is Dennis Leary, Kevin Spacey, who I believe in a not family-friendly podcast, totally fair play to bring the Kevin Spacey movie back into the helm here. And then we're going to finish it out with Anna and the Apocalypse, which is available on Prime. Available on Prime, recommended by Dave, and it is a movie musical that takes place on right around Christmas Eve during a zombie apocalypse. It's good stuff. We're going to talk about that last. Let's get into it. Bad Santa, you know the story. A miserable con man and his partner pose as Santa.
We've all lived
and
it.
his little helper. That's right. Their 8 little reindeer help them rob malls that they were working as Santa Claus and the Elf out. So he's a complete alcoholic. He then befriends Lauren Graham, who is Mrs. Santa's sister, and a really strange kid who has a really big house that his father is absent from because he's in prison. Anyway, so Billy Bob, Bad Santa, alcoholic, really funny, fucking funny. Who wants to go first?
All right. Well, first of all, I didn't realize that this is produced by the Coens,
Yeah, and the
And
Weinsteins.
they rewrote some of it too.
and they had a hand in the script as well. The Weinsteins are in
They
there
won't
too,
admit it
so-
because apparently they were really pissed about what the Weinsteins did to it. So
Yeah, classic.
join the club. Everyone's pissed about what the Weinsteins did to him.
Yeah.
Did
Their
you do
story is
any-
not as strong as some others I've heard.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Sorry, you can buzz me for laughing that hard at an inappropriate joke.
Hey, not family friendly. Come on,
Yeah.
people. Let's get into it. Somebody talk about
So
this goddamn movie.
Fucking funny, you guys. I saw this movie in theaters in high school, and it's one of these standout. Like, I may have pissed my pants. I was laughing so hard the first time I saw this movie. I know I spilled my drink. I was all over.
Sure
I could
you
not
did.
stop. I was guffawing from the moment this thing
You
opens.
spilled your
Were you-
cola.
Yeah.
The cola, when he walks out of that bar, he just starts pissing, and then he just starts throwing up on himself, and it just opens with the title. I mean, you just know exactly what you're in for. This movie is fearless. It's fearless.
Ironically,
When was the last time you guys watched
apparently the Weinsteins made them cut some stuff and they reshot some stuff to tone it down and make it a little bit more mainstream, so that it wasn't as offensive. The irony of that is not lost on me, but apparently
Wow.
the Badder Santa has 15 seconds of extra footage that makes it just worse because there's a director's cut.
What could it possibly be? What
Oh,
is
there's
the
like
15
5
extra
seconds of extra footage here and 10 seconds of extra abuse here, and it's just like they let the scenes go on a little bit.
So Jeff, I'll throw it to you in a second because I think you'll have something to say about this. Jeff and I, when we were in college, we had a really intense, wonderful acting teacher who was a great teacher and a really good actor. And this was one of his, if not his favorite acting performance of all time by Billy Bob, not just by Billy Bob Thornton. He thinks it's one of the greatest acting performances ever caught on film. And you think about that and you laugh and you think it's hilarious, but it's so grounded. Billy Bob is incredible in this movie. Everything is so legit. It's not slapstick. You know what I mean? It's fucking dark. What do you think?
I think I'm going to agree with that point. I feel like Billy Bob Thornton and Tony Cox as well was a fucking highlight for me. He nails
Yeah, of course.
his performance. But I feel like if those two weren't as good as they were, this movie wouldn't have been as successful because the rest of it, the script is shit.
I mean, it's just one gigantic gimmick, isn't it? So it's
Yeah.
like another thing that we say
And
all the time. Like
they took it and ran with it and elevated it way above what it was.
yeah, every element's important, and the acting is probably it's a comedy. So as well as the editing and timing and stuff, the acting is the most important part of this. There is a lot of. This is not a quick cut, movie with hilarious, kind of like some of those wonderful cuts we were talking about last week with Christmas Vacation. That doesn't happen in this movie. There's a lot of static cinematography.
Yeah,
and it's all about just watching these people
almost strikes
sit
as a
in
set
their
of
misery.
sketches. It's a set of sketches almost. Like then this happened, then this happened, then this happened.
They all check out. They all work towards the same goals. It is ultimately simplistic, and it is ultimately they have the alcoholism to turn back on. I do wonder how it's going to age over time. Like, is alcoholism at this level going to be funny? That self-destructiveness. It's it's a little.
I'm so conflicted about this movie because I hate the fucking film, but I love some of the performances in it.
Do you really hate the film?
You hate the
Yeah,
film?
I hate
get in
it.
there. Wait, what do you
I
mean?
fucking hate it.
Why do you hate it?
There's nothing to it. It's literally just him doing a gimmick for like an hour and a half. There's the thinnest storyline you've ever seen. There's no like redemption of any characters whatsoever. It's just.
Oh, keep going, motherfucker. What
But
else?
they fucking own it, and it's so good because of that. Like, if you're looking at this from a critical eye, it's gonna flop. If you're looking at this from the holy shit, these guys nailed what they were trying to do, it's a roaring success. So I'm
that's
so
what comedies
fucking
are.
conflicted.
Yeah, what's Caddyshack? Is Caddyshack like Citizen Kane but at a country club? You know what I mean? Like it's
No,
it's
Caddyshack's
very
fucking
simple.
funny. Fuck you.
This is funny. This is a funny movie. All right, so I've had the pleasure of watching this movie many times, and John and I like this movie so much we went and saw Bad Santa 2 in theaters, which is terrible.
that was-
But it does have the kid though, and Kathy Bates is Billy Bob's mom.
Oh yeah.
So that's really fucking funny. So I saw this with my mom in a hotel room when I was doing college auditions.
Oh.
So just the two of us in a hotel room. This is not what we expected.
And when they all got out of therapy,
All right, that's right. And then we always did the 11 o'clock service at my church, and we usually were like a little toasty because we would drink at this holiday party beforehand. So by the end of the service, we'd come home, have another scotch, and I think my brother and I one year just couldn't do "It's a Wonderful Life," which is always on. We just like can't do it, and so we put Bad Santa on. And it sort of became this Christmas tradition to watch like a half an hour of Bad Santa when we got
is
back.
it just
from
to see the look
And
on your
then-
mum's face?
Right. Yeah, basically. And they not fans. They missed the beginning. I think if they would have gotten hooked early on from the first time he was at a bar peeing and throwing up on himself for sure. Maybe if they saw him open a safe and knew that the guy was skilled. No, I
mean,
saw this
he
one.
has levels. Yeah.
I saw this one with Chloe and her parents. And Chloe and her mom had just watched another one of the Netflix like Hallmarky type movies that's not good, you know, those kinds of things. And
Yeah.
this movie comes on, or we put this on, and it's funny because first of all, it's funny watching it with females and men, because there's a scene where the kid that Billy Bob sort of adopts, I guess, because
Yeah.
it's really hard to explain the exact scenario, but he ends up staying at this kid's mansion because his dad isn't home. His dad is looking at mountains or something, but it's really just that his dad's in prison for embezzlement. So he's this huge house, and so Billy Bob just like moves into this kid's fucking house. It's so funny. Anyway, he realizes that the kid's getting bullied, so he takes him to a boxing. He takes him to a boxing.
Okay,
club,
I'll give you that scene
and-
is funny.
and he gets Tony Cox, who is 3 feet tall, and the boy to fight against each other, and they just start like kicking and punching each other in the nuts. Like all three of them just keep punching each other in the nuts. Chloe's dad and I are hysterically laughing, and the ladies are not laughing at this. But it's funny because she goes, "This." I forget if it was Chloe or her mom was like, "This is not. He is not redeemable. This shouldn't be a good movie. We just watched a supposedly heartfelt Christmas movie in quotes."
Uh-huh.
Like, but this is so much better because you can't take your eyes off them. It just means that they must be just really good. They must be good actors because there's nothing redeemable about these characters. And
Absolutely.
I can't wait to
Everyone
see what
in
happens
everyone in
next.
this movie is so fucking messed up.
Bernie Mac is obviously, you know, R.I.P. to him and John Ritter, who are both in this film.
Yeah.
And they both just do their roles right. It's just good
Yeah.
stuff. It's good. It's a little overdone, so sketchy. I give you that, Dave.
I mean, no, it is. It's definitely a great example of how an acting performance can elevate something above what it was.
I mean, just when Bernie Cox, so Billy Bob Thornton passes out at one point,
Bernie
in front
Cox.
of all the kids.
Bernie Cox.
Sorry, Bernie Mac. So when the
Yeah, when he
Bad
comes in-
Santa, when the Bad Santa, Billy Bob passes out in front of all the kids, and Bernie Mac comes up and he starts yelling at the little person to get Billy Bob out of there. And he says, "I can't get him out of here. You get him the fuck out of here," in front of all the kids in the mall. And he was like, "This is your problem, motherfucker." And he was like, "It's fucking physics." And I don't want to get into it because it's
Yeah.
not my story to tell. But it's like the way they're yelling at each other is really funny. But what they're yelling about is a real thing. They actually have to get Billy Bob out of the mall. That's what separates this from a regular gag. Because if he just passes out in the mall and they can't move him, end game, right? They need to get him out. So it's like, even though they are gags, what the result of it matters. And I think that's why this ends up becoming a very rewatchable movie.
There's also it's a bottomless pit. So like, again, unlike
there is no low bar.
Unlike a Home Alone or a Christmas Vacation, where, again, a gimmick is set up fairly early in the movies, and you're kind of watching these gags take place in different form, but it's the same thing over and over again. This one, the gimmick is introduced to you, but it's like disturbing how far they go with it, how shameless Billy Bob plays this man. I mean, that blackout scene is way too far. Like the first time they did that take, I wonder if they were like, I don't know if you need to like break every prop on set, dude. And he just comes in and just fucking falls and breaks over everything. The kids are all the way they have all the kids lined up right there.
By his own admission, he was drunk for a lot of this film.
Yeah. Drunk for a lot of this film. I mean, come on.
His method. So yeah, okay.
I do want to ask Dave, like, unpack it a little bit more for me. Are you saying that like if you read this script, you would be like, this is just it's kind of cheap humor. It's dirty, it's crass, and we're just gonna laugh at the grossness, the vulgarness.
It's like, I have a question here. It's like, did they start off with Too Bad in the bad Santa, like with his opening monologue and like him throwing up in the alleyway and everything? Did they leave themselves nowhere to go? And then I was like, not really, because this movie goes so fucking low. And it's like, it's not a feel-good film at all. That's for sure. It's horrible. Almost everyone there is horrible fucking people.
But isn't there something?
He genuinely tries to kill himself.
The kid interrupts. I mean, come on, you guys. Dark humor is good at any time of the year, but like, isn't there a piece of us that wants to blow up Christmas? Like, isn't there a little bit of us that is just like, fuck the cheer, fuck that shit, fuck it? Like, there's even in It's a Wonderful Life, like Jimmy Stewart's character, the ultimate feel-good holiday movie, even he is like struggling with trying to feel cheerful about it. I think this movie is like the ultimate holiday release. Like, you kind of need this.
I was say, like, right in the Twitch chat here, Jeff's typed, "Fuck yeah, Bernie Mac." Don't pretend you can get his fucking name right.
So- hey! I was trying to stir up some conversation on our app.
Starting the chat.
Starting the chat.
Get it going.
No,
I'm trying to light it up.
The thing is, like, they go low, but it's all low. There's nothing. Like, there's maybe 2 gags in this whole movie that aren't just through the fucking floor low. This is just like they.
When Tony Cox says, "Everything about you is disgusting. Your soul is dog shit." When they're sitting in the food court, like, it just can't get any worse. I don't know, you guys.
Yeah,
every time I watch this movie,
Tony Cox is still my favorite in this fucking film.
Yeah, Tony Cox is perfect.
Yeah. You guys don't feel that at all, what I was talking about, though? Like, come on. Like, you don't, even as a kid, I remember being like I wish I was made of fucking claymation so that this time of year could just be fucking perfect. And I was totally in line with the way everybody was telling me they're supposed to be feeling. But there's a little bad Santa in all of us, I think. And I don't know. I feel like this movie is singular.
There's a little.
There is not another Christmas movie that really taps into the rage that I think a lot of people feel underneath our like pretense of cheer.
There's a little bit of bad Santa in all of us, but they go full fucking bad Santa down your throat. Like,
well, as you
if
do,
this was porn, it'd be a snuff film.
How much would this movie have sucked if they had not gone that far? Right?
I get it. Like, they committed to the bit, and like, but also, again, like I said, it's something that isn't good, but is good because it's elevated by the performances that they give. Like, the kid is great. He's great. Tony Cox is great. Everyone in this movie. Yeah, everyone in this movie.
What the fuck does that, Dave? What does that mean, though? It is a good, but it is good. Like, for you specifically, I'm not just saying objectively. Like, when you watch this movie, are you not laughing? Are you not smiling? You're not having fun?
Sometimes there's a couple of scenes where, yes, I laughed. But a lot of the times, it's like
aspirin in it.
Like, and it's almost awkward shit, and it's meant to be funny, but it's not. It's fucking tragic.
Wow. Oh, okay. So would you watch something like this gross? Like, are you kind of disappointed in yourself for like watching something that horrible?
I don't know.
I don't know if I want to even subject myself to this.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you want to throw it back to Noah, he's drunk and I'm looking, and it's like, it's not cool.
Yeah.
Dave,
I
this
don't know.
movie
I
or
think it's
Noah?
fucking
Gun to your head. What do you pick?
I don't know. This movie's coming in. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
He said, come on, one of my favorite lines in the movie. I beat the shit out of some kids today, but it was for a purpose. Come
For a
on.
purpose. I really
Yes.
felt
Like I said,
felt like
no,
my life-
there is some stuff that's incredibly funny, but I'm just what I'm saying. Like if you come from there are like certain generational gaps where some things are still kind of sacred, where you don't fuck with Sandy, you don't fuck with certain things at Christmas, that sort of thing.
Fuck with
And
cats.
this takes that and throws it out the fucking window. And they just nothing is sacred in this movie.
It's also funny that he wears the Santa suit everywhere he goes, but especially when he's in the dressing room making sweet love to Lauren Graham in the changing room in a department store.
Yes.
And when you look under the door, you just see like the Santa boots and the Santa outfit. And then when John Ritter tells Bernie Mac, and he goes, they were fornicating in the big and tall section. The big and tall section. Like the way Bernie Mac handles that. It's really funny. they have
Yeah.
consequences.
Bernie Mac again was also a phenomenal performance in this. I love all of
Oh my God,
all
yeah.
that. Like I said, I loved the acting. I loved what they did with the material they were given. This is the opposite of a film where people just don't elevate something that could have something
Yeah.
that sits here and they bring it up to here.
even the
Yeah, this is
The
for
bit
me.
parts
It's
too,
here,
dude.
but to throw it out there and almost to steal a gimmick from another podcast, the and Almost Starring guys, they had Bill Murray and Jack Nicholson lined up to play this role.
yeah.
What
Yeah.
the fuck would that have turned out like?
Yeah.
Like if
Honestly, I think
it wasn't someone
I
who
didn't
could
see
commit like
Jack.
Billy Bob
No.
Thornton, Billy Bob Thornton
Murray-
looks the part.
Right.
Bill Murray might have pulled it off. I don't know, but
Bill
I
Murray,
don't think
Bill
any-
Murray would have been a Bill Murray movie. You know, it would have been every movie he's in, it turns it into a Bill Murray movie, which is wonderful. Jack probably would have been close to this, but I think Billy just
Yeah.
like the disgusting. I don't think they would have gone
Yeah.
as far as Billy did.
Billy has no problem at all committing to that.
How about did you guys, a little shout out to Oscar winner Octavia Spencer for the single
Yeah.
scene as the hooker?
Yeah.
Hell no, I didn't shit right for me.
That was a good running gag. That was a good running gag.
Every tiny little role is great. But just to get back really quickly, technically, I think one reason why this movie doesn't feel like just the gimmick to me, like I know what you mean, Dave. We all do. Like we know it from the get-go. Big picture wise, we know what this movie is about. It's in the fucking title. And if you don't get it from the title, you get it from that opening scene. However, the way they shoot it, the coverage, because there's so much coverage that is static, that just sits on these people. I think it confuses you a little bit as an audience member because you keep thinking you're allowed to laugh without feeling guilty about it. Like you keep wanting to have that sensation and they just don't let you. It stays still so much and you just have to watch Billy be horrible or be hilarious. Like that scene that Jeff was
Also-
talking about. He walks up into the foreground and gives that monologue about I beat up some kids today. He's just pulling so hard on a cigarette and he's just like so proud of himself, but it doesn't cut. It doesn't give you any, there's no breath for you as the audience member. You have to just sit there and decide for yourself, am I comfortable laughing at this? Oh,
Oh, we got the gush alarm for
come on,
John.
come on.
Keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop.
It
does-
You don't have to stop when it
It
goes
does what it does what a dark comedy should do. It makes you feel very uncomfortable. So I don't know, Dave. What are some of your other, can you name just off the top of your head? Are there any other really raucous, filthy, dark comedies that you do love, but they give you that same sensation? I'm not proud of laughing about this, but I love this movie.
I mean, as far as black comedies, about as black as I like to go is Gross Point Blank, which I think the cinematographer for this also shot.
Shut up. That's fucking good.
Yeah.
That's good little trivia. Nice. I've never seen that movie, but anyway,
Yeah.
Jeff, do you have is there a dark
It's
comedy
worth.
you
It's
can
worth.
think of
That's
that,
worth a
like-
look. Have a look at that one. It's Dan Aykroyd has the best fucking cameo ever in that.
Nice.
No, this is I mean this is really dark. And the ones that we use that always used to get cited, like what's it called, Happiness? Is that weird like John Lovett's movie or the Wars of the Roses.
War of the Roses. Yeah.
I enjoyed War of the Roses.
Like that's a good example. That's what I'm saying. It's a little bit more the way they cut War of the Roses. It feels a little bit more like I think I'm supposed to laugh because of the way they're cutting this, even though the performances are dark. This is almost like flipped. Like you can't help but laugh at these performances because they're so brilliant. But the movie makes you feel like, I feel really
like
uncomfortable.
War of the
watching
Roses though was still a touch comedic. This occasionally goes outside the comedic to the grotesque. Like they cross lines. And they're like, yeah, bye-bye line. Fuck you. I'm coming on through.
What is your favorite scene, moment, line? Like what? Like whatever gimmick, gag. Like it could be anything. What gets you?
It's the
every
fucking,
time
it's
you
the
watch
fucking
this?
boxing match. The boxing match gets me every time.
Just the classic
Better
slapstick.
for guys, apparently. Better for guys.
Three
but,
Stooges. Yeah. Jeff, you too.
I mean, that one was where I laughed the hardest this time, but I got to give a different answer. I can't let Dave just take our answer here. Why? Do you have a different one? You know what it was today? Today it was the grandma. So the boxing match and the balls immediately cuts to Billy Bob and Lauren Graham coming home. And the grandma is laying back. Her mouth is open and her like legs and arms are spread out to the side. It looks like she's in rigor mortis, but without it like twitching. So she looks like a dead bug. And so they're like, she's dead. And he goes up and like tries to like see if she has a heartbeat and tries like he gets in her face for like a minute. And then she finally snaps back to life. It is so stupid.
I'm really wondering was the direction there just come out of it when you feel like it.
Yeah.
So he had no idea
There's
when
so
she
many
was coming out.
They linger so much. Mine is a lingering moment. It's when he sits down and what is he signing, a permission slip or something for the kid? He's like, who the fuck is Thurman?
Yeah.
He's like,
It's the report card.
And he goes Thurman Merman? And he goes, yeah. And it just sits on Billy for like 5 seconds. Dude, Jesus fucking Christ. He's just like the time.
Okay, that's a good one.
Takes
That's
for
a
his
good one.
Sky fucking rewind.
Like there are some absolutely great gags hidden in amongst all of the really grotesque shit they do. Like in this.
The kid is carving a wooden pickle for him. A pickle.
Yeah.
It just looks like a turd. And he just, anyway, it's so funny.
Oh, yeah, the blood covered.
Yeah. I think this movie's fucking fun. Give it a rent, people. Go ahead.
Give it. I mean, give it a look. It's don't watch it with your Christian family. They're not going to enjoy this. But
don't watch it with your mom in a hotel.
No.
don't do what Jeff did.
Don't rent it.
It's so
yeah,
funny,
it's
though.
fun. Yeah, so there you go. That is our first not family-friendly Christmas movie.
Woo.
All right, but we got to keep it moving, people. So we're going to take a very, very short break so we can recoup. And then we are going to be talking about 1994's The Ref. Starring Dennis Leary, Judy Davis, and Kevin Spacey. We will see you in a second, film fans. Hey, we're back.
We're back.
Oh my God.
Here we go.
All right, people, that was Bad Santa. Loved it. Love talking about it, but we have to move on. Gonna keep the show rolling. We are now going to be talking about The Ref. The Ref. R-E-F.
Yep.
Dennis Leary robs the shit out of something.
I believe it's fucking no, it's Kevin McAllister's house he robs because it's got fucking like cat piss booby traps and
yeah. Waylon somebody. It's like a local rich person.
The person has a lot of money and had set up a booby trap in the safe so that if you pick up that diamond ring, booby trap goes off. You go through a trap door in the floor. You get stuck with the dog. They didn't really show how he escaped. But anyway, long story short,
No, they didn't.
I imagine
he is on the run.
Yeah.
He is on the run. And the town, knowing that there is a burglar on the loose, they shut the town down, basically. They do checkpoints in car vehicles so that they can't leave the town. And they're going to go house to house looking for Dennis Leary. Dennis Leary goes into a convenience store and gets Judy Davis to take her into her car where her husband Kevin Spacey is waiting for her. Little does Dennis Leary know that the two of them are in the worst possible marital fight that he could endure. And even though he is holding them up with a gun to their heads, they keep arguing about their marriage. and yelling at each other. They have nowhere to go, so Dennis Leary makes them take them back to their house, where they continue to argue and bicker. He ties them up, and they end up forming a very interesting friendship on Christmas Eve, which makes it a Christmas movie.
So essentially, this movie is about how Stockholm Syndrome is a Christmas miracle.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Right. Well,
yeah.
except that they never really. In that case, you start to fall for your burglar because of the power and stuff. They never really treat him like a burglar.
No,
He's just like
he's
another.
Yeah,
dimple in their
basically the whole
marriage.
family shows up for dinner while he's holding them hostage, so he has to pretend he's a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
The original psychiatrist played by BD Wong as well.
BD
Yeah,
Wong,
BD. Shout out. Wanted to give
Fa-
him a shout out.
Favorite
Same
of
year as
mine.
Jurassic Park, I think.
Also, this was I don't know whether you saw it in the IMDb trivia. This is J.K. Simmons' film debut.
Oh, was it his debut?
Wow, that's his debut.
Yeah.
Wow.
The same age.
Right? I mean,
I know,
you
he
can see
looks-
he's a little bit younger there, but yeah.
A
It's
little
also
more
written
hair on
by-
the side. Yeah.
It's written by Richard LaGravenese, who
Say that again.
wrote
Yes.
LaGravenese.
Actually, he was called in
Wrote
to finish it up, to finish the screenplay. It was actually originally written by Mary Weiss.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And he's her brother-in-law. So she called him in to finish up the script. It was actually inspired by an argument she had with her husband, and she came up with the premise. It's like, when you say he said something and he says he didn't, wouldn't it be nice to have a third party who could step in? And the whole thing
Otherwise
spawned from
known
that.
as
The ref, yeah.
marital therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so the whole thing spawned from this one argument she had with her husband, which, great.
Yeah.
So for me-
directed by
yeah.
Ted Demme, who is Jonathan Demme's nephew.
Oh wow.
And he was only 31 years old when this film came out. This is directed by a young person, which is interesting because it's about marital divorce. I would have expected it to be somebody a little bit more middle-aged, but there you go. There you go. Okay, that's the pitch. John, what were you saying?
I'm about to sneeze.
Wow, great time. This is good audio right there, John.
See if I
Thank
can
you
time
so
it.
much.
Come on, go.
Hey, let me also give a
that's
shout
not
out
gonna
to
happen.
Christine Baranski, who is in one of the worst Christmas
Yes.
movies of this year, Dolly Parton's Christmas on the Square, which I've seen more than once.
Yeah, buzz. This is all the buzzes. Buzz to Christine, buzz to you, buzz to watching it more than once.
Christine Baranski, what a hero. 15 Emmy nominations, and
She's wonderful. Good wife. Yeah, give it up. I love her in the Ron Howard's Grinch, Jim Carrey's Grinch. She's good in that
Yeah.
too.
Also,
All
just
right.
before we get started, I should point out we're live on Twitch, we're live on Facebook at the moment, so we're having this discussion. If you disagree, feel free to chime in.
Yeah, feel free to get in here because I'm about to shit on this movie. So I want to know.
what? No.
Yeah, hold on. Let me give it
Is it
up.
because of the Kevin Spacey stuff?
No, I'm going to turn. No.
Yeah, this
Kevin
used,
Spacey's a wonderful actor, and he's
Dude,
wonderful in this movie too. Sorry,
used to
world.
Be, this used to be my
So
Christmas
sorry.
movie, like go-to Christmas movie that I would show friends. So fucking thanks, Kevin Spacey.
Okay. So this is not a bad movie. I'm not saying it's a bad movie, but to flip the thing that Dave was saying about what we were praising so much about Bad Santa, and I'm glad we brought up War of the Roses because I could not stop thinking about War of the Roses while I was watching this.
Yeah.
I think this is an example of a movie that had a wonderful setup, really excellent actors, that everything was primed and ready. The whole family was going to get involved. There was that Christmas Vacation element where like obstacles could have been delivered, and then it stops halfway through this movie when the entire family arrives. This movie should have gone way further. They should have been destroying each other with their anger, and instead it turned into a therapy session. Which I'm sorry, but like it lost steam for me because I was so on board. I was like, this is better than I thought it was going to be, despite the very strange slow motion opening with an R&B song that comes back at the end of the movie that I didn't understand.
weird.
Yeah, what
why
was
it
all
was
that B-roll in the town? Like,
Christmas R&B. I didn't understand it, but I was on board.
we
I was
never
like,
saw
whatever.
that town ever again after that opening credit.
Fucking Connecticut, dude. But I don't know. And in spite of, all right, Kevin Spacey's monologue is magnificent. Judy Davis is magnificent with him in every scene, especially that one where they have their restaurant fight in front of the whole family, and he finally puts the gauntlet down and shares their history. I just felt like when we got to that point in the movie, which is about 2/3 of the way through, maybe a little over halfway, I remember just thinking, what happened? Who chickened out on this script? I feel like this could have gone into all out war within this family. The ingredients were there. Christine had troubles with her pussy husband. Christine hated the mother. Everyone hated the mother. Judy and Kevin hated Christine and his brother. Everything, all the ingredients were there, and it did not amount
Also,
to anything
quick shout out.
beyond that fight.
Glynis Johns is absolutely hateable as the mother as well. She's amazing.
That's
Wonderful.
great, yeah.
She's
Every time
all the
I watch,
performances are amazing.
yeah, every time I can't watch this, I can't wait for her to arrive on screen.
She's great, dude. She's fucking wonderful. Everyone, that scene on the stairs, like right when she gets there, like from the get-go, a strong performance. I don't know, you guys. Am I alone here? I just remember feeling like, God damn it, this is one of those examples of somebody did not go far enough. It almost felt like it wasn't even supposed to be a Christmas movie. Like it was the idea of like a marital robbery, that third party thing.
I don't know.
And then they were like, how do we frame this movie? And a studio got a hold of it and we're like, let's just wrap it in a bow and sell it on Christmas.
I always found this way more disciplined. Like I found this way more disciplined than Bad Santa.
Disciplined in what way?
In that they had a storyline.
But what was the point? Like, I guess that's what I walk away from this movie with. Like, we all knew at the very beginning they were either going to destroy each other or find some way to make up.
I mean, it was,
so if the point is to make up in a vehicle of a comedy Christmas movie, shouldn't we have some more laughs along the way?
It's a Christmas movie where people learn the value of family, but it does it in a really fucking rude way. Like it's almost like an episode of Springer at some points. But it's one of those ones where it's fun to watch another family disintegrate.
But I'm going to call you out. What happens in Springer? What does it always build to? A fucking fight. They fucking start jumping all over each other and tearing each other to pieces, and that's when that show gets good. So I feel like this movie, like it never got there. They stayed. It was. I'm gonna bet fucking money that Marie Weiss is from fucking Connecticut, because this was the waspiest fucking movie I've ever seen. This is like how they fight in Connecticut. This was like their version of War of the Roses, like standing across the room from each other and just bitching at each other constantly. It never went past that for me. And I still don't get me wrong. I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed watching it. I just felt like it cut itself off at the shins about halfway through. It should have gone further. Jeff, do you agree, disagree? What do you think? Yeah. Buzz me.
I'm somewhere in between. I'm with you that, about halfway it started to drag a little bit, halfway through 2/3, but the ending was satisfying enough, even though it was a little campy. And I don't know, it was pretty fun. I did see when Kevin Spacey finally gets that cane or something and starts whacking the Christmas tree, and I saw he started to like go towards his little American Beauty self, when the famous American Beauty scene where he picks up the plate slowly and then he just slams it against the wall to get everybody's attention. Yeah, I saw that, and you're right. I guess I could have seen it go farther, but it's risky to do that, because it could fall apart quickly. And I guess it was a therapy session. That was a choice. I know you're pitching it like a cop out. That is the choice they made. It just might not have been the strong enough choice. That doesn't make the movie necessary.
But whenever you have a situation with storytelling and you see a risk sitting in front of you and you don't take it, that's probably a good sign that you're playing it safe. So you're not going to explore what was possible. Like, I feel that exact moment was when I was like, here we go. I literally like rubbed my hands together. I was like, Kevin's about to lose it. This house is going to burn down. I was like, anything is possible right now.
Yeah, they should have
gone. Instead, he turned around and he literally in that moment, Jeff, he literally turned around and said, I was talking, because they interrupted him. That's why he goes to the Christmas tree and hits it. Yeah. And he gets very serious and delivers a very serious monologue. Again, he's wonderful in it. The monologue is good. It's fucking brilliant acting. But I felt like the momentum of that scene was building to chaos, and they stopped the chaos. They controlled it immediately.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And actually, now that you sold me on one thing, which is I said campy at the end. The cops finally show up to their house, the house where the actual guy they're looking for has been, and they basically don't search it. And it probably would have been better if they're arguing with each other and their house is on fire and the cops are just like, I don't want anything to do with this house, and then walk away, as opposed to just walking in and seeing the arguing alone and leaving. Probably not a good enough reason to not search the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it looked like the house from Mr. and Mrs. Smith, then yeah, maybe you're right. You're right. You're not wrong.
And then I also felt like at the very end, again, that R&B, I laughed again when that R&B music came back on.
I'm just going to buzz you for the hell of it. I know where you're going.
Sure. The R&B music comes back on at the very end when fucking Dennis Leary finally gets on his boat. His friend is really good too. His
Yes.
sidekick Murray, he's great in this movie.
Yeah, Murray's good.
I kind of wanted to see maybe 2 or 3 extra minutes of him with that woman on the boat. I feel like there was some funny shit that
Yeah.
was going on there. He was a funny character, but I feel like this movie, the final statement of this movie is I kept waiting for it. I was like, when is Dennis Leary going to do his million mile an hour rant that he's so funny for and that he's famous for? And they just shoved it in the last seconds of the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, like it didn't find its way into his character another way. So I felt like this was
Again,
I kind of feel like I was watching a vehicle for a comedian, and that's always a cop out to me.
Drop
You're
Dead
watching
Fred with Dennis Leary, basically.
It's
It was
way
like-
better than Drop Dead Fred.
It's like,
dude.
yeah.
It is. Yeah.
It's like,
way better
it's
than
like, okay, we got to put Dennis Leary in. He's like, I don't want to do it, guys. Just do it at the end. Just do it at the end. But he gets 1 or 2 of them in there, like the wonderful line about later, your husband's not dead. He's fucking hiding. And
Yeah.
like
There's Dennis Leary. Okay, hold on. Wait. This is a great example. I don't know if this movie was written for him, but you have someone
don't
like
think it
Dennis Leary
was.
who I don't think it was either. But this is what I'm saying. This movie felt like it was kind of made by committee kind of thing. Like somebody had a script and they were like, how do we do this? Blah, 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 blah. Once you have a comedian like Dennis Leary and you know that is his canon, he likes to go insane.
Mhm.
They did not drive him insane. For the last half of this movie, he's kind of
I don't
sitting
know.
there
It's,
listening to the... No, dude, he should have gone ballistic.
I feel like
he
it
should
was
not
a
have gotten
more
away with
measured
it.
performance. It was he half went there with what you were expecting, and you were waiting for it, and that kept you waiting for it right to the end. But like I'll tell you what, like the one thing I love about this is like this character in this Dennis Leary's character in this movie reminds me of people I've worked with. And it's
Yeah.
so funny. It's like you're waiting for them to go off because it's fucking hilarious. And
I know, but give it to me. Don't. I'm sitting here for a Christmas comedy. Give me what I'm waiting for. I want to see him go nuts. I want to see something ridiculous. I want to see him give himself up to the cops. I want to see him threaten to kill himself. I want something
the
to go
original
wrong.
ending. He was caught and taken away to teach the kid a lesson about how crime doesn't pay, and that ending did not test well at all, so they redid it.
I mean, that's a dumb ending. That's bad.
Yeah.
That would have been a bad choice.
Yeah.
To teach the kid a lesson? He doesn't give it. What kind of robber is sitting there? It's like, I have an idea. I'll go to prison because it'll help people learn. Like, that's
No, he
terrible.
didn't. He didn't
That's
decide
bad.
to do it. He was just caught. They came in and busted him.
This
Okay,
was
well,
all right. So
touche.
even in
All right.
even in IMDb, this is listed as a genre: comedy, crime, drama. And I think I did not look at this. I didn't look at any information before I watched it. I did watch the trailer, but then I just pressed play because I knew we were supposed to watch it this week. So I didn't read anything about it. This movie was set up in my mind. The first half of this movie, certainly the exposition, but definitely the first half, set it up to me, and I was like, "Here we go. This is going to build into a dark screwball, or some kind of dark satire." And instead, it resolves into a dramedy. Like it kind of takes on more serious tones toward the end, and actually tries to teach you some lessons.
I'm
And then
wondering,
Dennis Leary,
I'm
there's a
wondering how
happy
much of that
ending.
was the rewrite that was done as
It
well.
was the wrong right.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It could
I'm
Could
sorry.
happen. It was the wrong.
I have to buzz you for something I agree with. Okay, sure. It could have been edgier. I still like it. I feel like it's a fun Christmas movie. You get a little bit of the like, yeah, the family. Like everyone can relate to the family self fucking combusting at Christmas.
Absolutely.
But-
But just kind of what we were saying. I don't know, dude. Just like we were saying with Bad Santa. Because you're right, dude. Like Jeff and I had never heard of this movie, right, Jeff?
No, I never.
I had never heard
thought
of
it
this
was,
movie.
I thought it was with Billy Crystal or something. And Dave was like, "Get the
Yeah,
fuck
that
out
one
of
where
here."
he's a NBA
Jeff.
ref. I know. I thought it
Yeah,
was that movie
that's
too.
what I thought it was. I forget what
Whatever
that movie
is. But I remember when this movie started, I was like, all right, here we go. This is an incredible cast. Like I was like, what is going to happen? These actors are brilliant. All these people are in their fucking prime, mid 90s, golden age. Everyone's fucking tackling it. The fights at the beginning were brilliant.
Yeah.
The stuff in the car is brilliant. It doesn't feel like just a gimmick. Like, again, it's a gimmick. You know what's happening. The comedy is set up, but the work is so good. It's so nuanced. And you know that like, oh my God, they're going to murder each other before the end of this movie. I don't know. I just didn't see the happy ending being coming through actual sincere therapy. I thought it was going to come another
that's
way
fair.
through absurdity.
I mean, I still love this movie. I feel like it's a great Christmas film to watch that's not exactly family friendly.
Correct.
And
Yep.
I like this. I do love the cat piss gag that keeps going the whole way through the movie.
Cat piss gag's fun.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I'm just wondering, like, what do you think? Would this make an interesting play?
Oh yeah, this could totally have been a play if we
Yes.
rewrite the script. Yeah,
Yeah.
if we.
If you rewrite it, it could be a great play.
No, but Jeff, I mean,
both
Dave, I
getting
feel you,
that.
dude. Dave, I feel you, dude. Single location, really, really strong acting performances.
Yeah.
Very, very dialogue driven. Like this totally could play on
Why
stage.
has no one done this?
I mean, I think you should get in touch with the Australia, the Sydney rep. I think
Yes,
we got to put it
Yeah,
on, bro.
get
Yeah.
Sydney Rep in there.
Yeah, we'll tour
We gotta
Australia
do
with
it.
this. We'll just go back. It's cool. I
It is
do
a
want
good
to ask
idea,
though: is
actually.
Drunk Cross Santa an American establishment? Because this is 2 movies now.
Like SantaCon.
Yes.
This
Hey.
actually inspired SantaCon. This is
It's
a
three
SantaCon
movies.
legend.
It's 3 movies. It's 3 movies. Miracle on 34th Street. Remember the first Santa
Yeah,
is,
Drunk
is
Santa.
wasted.
Drunk Santa. All the fucking Santas.
Dave, is that? I just assumed that everyone in Australia is drunk all the time, so I just assume your Santas are already drunk. Is that not a thing?
Oh yeah, that's probably true. I never noticed.
Yeah, because everyone's just fucking wasted. Come on, drunks is. Wait, seriously though. Is that not a cliche in Australia and England and
I'm
all
sure
the other
it is.
English-speaking
I'm
countries?
sure it
That is
is.
definitely a cliche in America. That is in every fucking movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, alcoholism sells. Still does.
Well, especially during the pandemic, we didn't get delivery.
This is
That
the
guy was
non-family
fucking great,
friendly version.
though.
Yes, all right, yeah, that's great.
That guy was excellent. Whatever his name was, the guy who kept just walking
No,
around
go home.
giving out fruitcakes.
Yeah.
Ah.
But he
They were
was He did a
bad.
good job of
They were
getting
bad
drunker over the course of
fruitcakes.
the film. That's not
Yeah,
easy,
that's what I'm
people.
saying. He
They probably
tracked.
film out
He
a
tracked
sequence
it.
and he did his beats and everything. Like he got his script out and he wrote in what
He
he
knew
was doing.
exactly where he was. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed his
He
performance.
probably hired a
All the
coach.
performances.
Yeah,
All the
right,
performances
people.
were wonderful.
And let's do it. Let's do our best supporting actor and best comedy moment if we haven't done it yet, just to give it some closure here. Have we done that already?
No, we haven't done that. Dave, do you have a couple off the top of your mind? I'm kind of looking through the.
I mean, Glynis Johns is my
Cast
favorite
list,
in
yeah.
this film. She is just
Yeah.
fucking notorious. She's consistently bad and like as in evil. And but yeah, Dennis Leary telling her, "Lady, your husband's not dead. He's fucking hiding," is my
Yeah,
favorite
that's
moment
probably
in this film.
That's probably the
really
best
good.
line. It was very like Churchill, Winston Churchill. Like it was like, what's that quote when that one walks up to him? She's like, "Sir, if you were my husband, I would poison your food." And he said, "Lady, if you were my wife, I'd eat it."
Yes.
I feel like it's like
Let's not quote the
That-
Family
that-
Guy version of that.
for sure.
when the kids walk downstairs and they're like, "Grandma's chewing through the ropes," or
Yeah,
"Grandma's
she
chewing
chewed
through
through
the
a gag."
Yeah. You forget that's
Yeah,
already
it's
tied
just-
up.
Just the idea of that,
Yeah.
that made me laugh quite a bit. Jeff, what about you?
I was actually gonna say, because it's the grandma. I do kind of like Christine Baranski in this, but I was gonna say the kids that get to tie everybody up.
Yeah.
Somehow Dennis Leary, who's holding up the house, just gets the niece and nephew of Kevin Spacey's character to tie everybody up, but he's not even holding the gun to them. Like the kids are just doing it.
Mhm.
and then finally, like the grandma's mouth isn't tied up, so she keeps talking, and it might even be somebody else. Like it might even be Spacey, who's like, "I think you should go ahead and gag your grandma, okay?" And the kid's just like, "Okay," and the kid just fucking tapes the grandma's mouth shut.
The first moment when they're at the dinner, when Dennis is still pretending to be their psychologist or whatever, and he tells somebody to shut the fuck up and like sit back down,
Yes.
and it cuts to the kid and he's like, "Cool." like one of the child.
Also, I just want to say the therapy session at the beginning with BD Wong and the bell is
Oh,
not where
it's
we
great.
got the idea for this show from.
Oh, it's so good though. It's so good. When she says she's trying to describe the sex and she's like, "It's not, what's the word? Noteworthy." That,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
very,
he's-
that is-
yeah, he's
the
like,
writing is
"Don't-"
good, dude.
Yeah, they served me his head with his penis in his ear and went, "Don't eat the penis, it's just for garnish."
Oh yeah, the whole dream is fantastic.
And that
Oh,
keeps
it
coming
really is
up
good.
the whole way through. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, I love this. I do. I love this film. Like, the comedy really speaks to me.
Oh, I'm sorry I shat on it, dude.
No, you can shit on whatever you like, but no,
Yeah.
to me, I think it's great, and I'll recommend it to anyone.
Yeah, it was worth a watch. I had never seen it or heard of it, and I don't know how that happened. It fell through the cracks for me. I feel like I've seen or heard of every Christmas movie in the 90s, especially.
Nice. Well, I guess let's bring it to a close there. The Ref, that sweet, sweet romantic comedy, sort of, that's also a drama.
So yeah, that was actually for Jeff. I hit
People.
the wrong button. These are 9% beers.
The
Yeah,
next film we're talking about is Anna and the Apocalypse. You've never heard about this? It's about a British girl who wants so badly to go to Australia,
Scottish girl,
which is why she wants to go to Australia, which is why Dave recommended this film. It is free on Amazon Prime, assuming you have a subscription and you are feeding into the establishment. People, we'll see you after our break. Unless, do we want to introduce what we're doing next week? Or I guess we'll do it
next week. We'll do it in a minute. Yeah.
We'll do it at the end. All right, people, we'll see you in a second. And we're back.
We are back.
Well,
Did you miss this?
What a talk about the Ref.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up. What a talk.
Didn't even make
So,
it.
okay, here's what I was doing. Here's what I was doing. What I was really doing is we spent our break and we said Kevin Spacey was really awesome in this film. It's weird because we want to praise him more. He was really that good at this film.
He's so
and
good.
It's just it's too bad because of everything that happened, which is legitimate. It's it's legitimate. But the results are out there of what he
Yeah.
did before all this news came out. And
Yes.
before the news came out, he was one of the best living actors on the planet. And so I'm not justifying anything, but I feel like if you want to watch this movie, that's probably the best reason to watch this movie is his performance. And it's hard to get people to watch.
I don't
Pretty
know.
much every
I
movie
feel
with
like
Kevin Spacey in it.
solid performances all around.
Right?
I feel like you can share the load on this one.
I agree, but sometimes when you see someone who is the best, then
One of
sometimes
them.
it kicks up a notch. But anyway, you're right. But we got to move on. I shouldn't have even said it, but then I stalled on air. So here we go. We're talking about now Anna and the Apocalypse.
Anna and the
Apocalypse. All right. So this
It's a movie that came out of nowhere.
came out of nowhere, 2017. A zombie apocalypse threatens the sleepy town of Little Haven at Christmas, forcing Anna and her friends to fight, slash, and sing their way to survival, facing the undead in a desperate race to reach their loved ones. But they soon discover that no one is safe in this new... It doesn't fucking matter. It's Shaun of the Dead meets La La Land. Shaun of the Dead meets La La Land. That's not my
Getting
quote.
buzzed for that.
I'm literally staring at it on IMDb.
Whoever
Shaun
wrote
of the
that's getting
Dead.
buzzed for that too.
Meets La La Land. That's what
Everyone's getting buzzed for that.
every time I say. All right. So there you go, people.
Getting another beer.
According to
Talk to
Dave, it's
yourself.
Scottish.
He's got to go.
Wait, what the fuck? We were just talking through the entire break. You didn't go to the bathroom then? All right. Anyway, so according to Dave, this is a Scottish movie, not a British film.
Yes,
Big
it's a
surprise to
Scottish
me.
Really, the accents didn't give it away.
All the singing got to me, I guess. So this is on Amazon Prime right now. It's a tight hour 33, and about an hour 20 of that is singing, or at least that's what it felt like. And who wants to go?
No, fuck you. I'm pimping you out. Jeff is our music theater professional here.
I
He
mean,
teaches
Jeff is
music theater. He
notoriously
does
hard on
music
music
theater.
theater.
He's trained in
John,
music
you
theater.
are-
Come
John,
at me.
You have a
Come at
Bachelor
me.
of Fine Arts degree.
I do,
in
but
music theater.
it's been
Not
13
musical theater.
years.
Music theater.
I think it's been 12 or 13 years since I've done any of it. I don't feel like I'm as up to date on it. What did you think of this? Honestly, did you think in terms of just the musical structure and music, everything about the music, the music itself, did you like it? Do you think it worked as a musical?
No, the songs weren't necessary to tell the story.
I think I agree with you, which Dave,
It was
Dave,
fun.
Jeff and I have
It
bitched
was
about this
fun.
before. It's tons of fun. but I don't think it
but
played by the rules.
By the fifth song, I was like, no more songs.
No more songs.
And
as in, like,
listen,
no
I
more
don't
songs
want to
are
hate this movie
necessary.
I don't want to hate on this movie right off the bat. The first 30 minutes of this movie are really fun, so people should watch the first 30 minutes.
The
of this
first 30
movie.
minutes. The first 30 minutes of this movie is poppy, it's funny, and then it's not.
I don't want to hate on this movie. Watch the first.
I mean, in Jeff's defense, that's what I did the first time I watched it. I watched the first 30, 35 minutes of this movie, then I had to go to bed because I had to call it.
Yeah,
an early
then
call
you
next morning.
recommended it to us.
That's why you
I
pitched
did.
it to us?
Yes.
Because you watched the first time and then fuck you, dude. Buzz
This
yourself.
movie's great.
We're all drinking.
Good
Oh
Lord
my God.
Almighty. Ultimately, I agree with Jeff. I think first of all, it's what's up with that fucking island over there in the North Atlantic? Why do they love zombies so much, Dave? Can anyone shine some light on me? There are so many zombie movies that come out of the UK, dude.
2 Walking Dead spin-offs. It's all I can say. Take that.
2 Walking Dead spin-offs. There's a zombie like hooligans movie that my brother-in-law is in. There's so many zombie movies, not to mention
28 days later.
28
Boyle.
days later. And the one we talked about earlier, what does it mean? La La Land? God damn it. Help me out, you guys.
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead.
You're right.
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead. Like, Jesus Christ. But ultimately, of course, I'm on board to watch a fun zombie movie. Like, who gives a shit? It's fun. This thing's an hour and 30 something minutes long. Like, I'm ready to go. But I agree with Jeff. Like most contemporary music theater, they wrote a bunch of pop songs that didn't necessarily, they either like too obviously told me exactly what characters already showed me, which I hate so much about pop music theater. I already saw you feel that way in the scene before you started singing, and now you're going to sing about that thing that already happened to you, as opposed to revealing something about the character that I didn't know through a song. And then it kind of started not being as satirical. Like at the beginning, I was like, all right, this is a joke, right? And then the songs, I feel like they started trying to take them kind of seriously. Like they were sincerely singing pop songs about being in a zombie world,
they were
as opposed to
having-
making fun of music theater.
They were
I thought
having
gonna
fun
go
at the
full
beginning,
satire.
and then at some point it turned serious. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Yeah, right.
I'll give you that,
What
yeah.
were they doing? Who the fuck? Where was it? Where was their friend who was like, guys, this is ridiculous. Let's make fun of it. Let's have fun. Everyone wants to laugh. Come on.
You can't. So to you always use the phrase rewriting the rules. For this one, what they did is everything was overdone. Musicals can't exist in reality. I've made this argument on here before. They can't exist in reality.
Yeah.
You don't sing in real life. So you always have to be doing something with it. And the big juxtaposition between pop songs, especially just whether it's in a musical context like this or not, is they put you in a place. You stay in that place for 3 minutes. You listen to an Ed Sheeran song, and it's literally 4 chords over and over again, but it's designed perfectly to just keep you in that
I'm not even
place.
buzzing that.
And then the 3 minutes goes, and then you're like, holy shit, that just ended so quick. I almost want to hear it again. And you just live in that world. When it comes to a movie, that's bad because the movie has to go somewhere. So all of these songs, by the beginning of this and the end of this, even if some zombies died along the way, nothing was really being done other than some clever writing and stuff, but that gets old really fast. So it's really tricky. Hamilton's the best example of this because the songs are designed like pop songs, but they cover like a year in time, right? You have so much context from the beginning of the end, even though the music is designed like a pop song. So that's why Hamilton's so great. I'm not comparing everything to Hamilton. Sorry, I forgot to drink.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, don't put that beer down. You haven't drunk yet.
Not to compare everything to, but there's a scene where the guys are gonna, the girls meet the guy that used to be her boyfriend, and there's like,
Right.
Anyway, and they're kind of trapped. They're zombies, and the guys are basically singing about kicking zombies' ass. Now, this is the best example because it's close. It's so close because it's like, what are we going to do? Real life problems are not going to help us with this. So it's okay to sing your way through it. You know what I mean? Like, there is no reality that Jeff Me has to get me out of this situation where zombies are crowding me. So songs might work in this case because there is no such reality. But then they sing for 3 minutes about smashing zombies and nothing gets, they could have just said that in one sentence.
Exactly.
And that's the tricky stuff about this.
And
That's
with
what's really
musicals, just like when a character sings a song in a musical, especially if they're obviously if they're alone, but even if they're not totally alone, a lot of the times they're supposed to be perceived the way you perceive classic soliloquy, which is that they're talking to themselves. So in a number like that, where they are stating, this is who I am and this is what I do, that was that guy's This Is Who I Am song.
Yeah, I Want songs.
It was okay, but I thought they should have covered
That's my
more
least favorite song,
ground.
actually, in the whole thing.
Me too, dude. I think I hated that one the most. I think that one bothered
Right.
me the most because we got it in the refrain. The first time he sung the chorus, we were like, all right, let's keep going. And I thought they were going to go through the city. I thought they were going to start traveling and he was going to, you know, like a montage style. He was going to keep singing that song and he was going to demonstrate
I mean,
his
also,
value as the warrior.
I should point out, this is an indie film as well that was picked up and distributed.
which is
like,
cool.
There's a whole
Kudos,
sequence
man.
that was cut because it rained and they couldn't film it. Like, it's a film we could have made.
Right.
Wow,
Right.
yeah.
And some of the performances are strong. That girl is
Yeah.
wonderful. The lead girl.
Dude,
she was
Ella-
20 fucking 2
Ella
years old when
Ella,
she did
Ella
this,
Hunt,
right?
her unimpressed
Yeah, she was
look
19,
is fucking legendary.
19 at the time?
Yeah.
And the
Unreal,
scene,
dude. She's
the scene with a friend is like, she's trying to like basically go, "You're my friend," where she's like discouraging him from asking her out. Is
Yeah, that
like her facial control is
All right, wait.
amazing.
Let's
That's
talk
really
about
good.
that. What a weird turn, and I don't know if I liked it. The nice guy gets killed in this movie, and she ends up with the asshole.
Yeah,
That kind of bummed me out
Yeah,
just a
that's
little bit.
sort
just
of. I
on-
mean,
Cool.
this had like this had the like the ending of this is Jesus, Jeff, take that. The ending of this is basically the "Don't feed the plants" ending from Little Shop. Like,
Yes,
it's not
yes,
a
it
happy
is.
ending. It doesn't like, and they state that right at the beginning, like, don't expect a Hollywood ending. There's a whole song about
Hold
it.
on. We get really, for some reason, John and I get really highbrow when we talk about musical theater. We get to air out all of our grievances over the past like 13 years. of adulthood
we may have
and
some
having
issues.
degrees. But
I mean,
So-
what,
so
what
it's-
would I know? I've only been working in musical theater for what, 30 years?
I know, David. Sorry.
Dave, we know
sorry,
you
sorry,
work
sorry.
in
But
music
then again-
theater. We know
Then
you
again,
know.
you also said you loved cats on stage. So anyway, it's hard to know.
Take that.
I know, I'm kidding.
That's
But anyway,
a
And we
throwback
should-
to our
and wait,
first
wait.
episode, which we'll
And I
cover
want to
next
give,
week.
and I want to throw it to you, Jeff. We should be comparing everything to Hamilton. If that set the new standard of pop music theater that succeeded with that new style, then we should compare stuff
Yeah.
to why did they work? Why did it work so well with them?
Well,
You
and
know,
it's not
that
just-
set a new bar.
And it's not just timing; it's also context. Like at the beginning of a Burr song to the end of the Burr song, you learn
So
a novel's worth about
much,
Burr.
yes.
Okay. Anyway, so back to this,
I've,
but they do a good
but
job
also
where it's like
I have
that.
a funny feeling that these guys did not expect this to get a distribution deal.
True.
And it did. And they were like, what?
They got into some great film festivals. They got into Fantasia. They
Like,
got into
everyone-
Rotterdam. I think they got.
Yeah, everyone like this did
Wait.
the rounds and they loved it.
You're right.
But carry on.
So to that, I would compare this to an off-Broadway show because I'm just sticking with
Yeah,
this highbrow.
that's kinda what it
Seen
felt
some
like.
off Broadway
And-
stuff.
But the
That's great.
thing about an off-Broadway stuff, even though they have those moments of heartfelt, like when she's telling her friend, like, you're my best friend, and you can feel his, and it's like kind of touching and stuff. How do you do that in a musical that demands satire? The only way you're going to get through this is satire. It's tricky. So kudos to them
Yes.
for getting the film made. It's all
Yes.
good. But they were close. They were on the right page because there is the singing at the
I don't think
beginning.
they were.
They I don't know, because they dancing in the lunchroom is fine. It's very
That's for
crazy
John.
ex-girlfriend.
That's-
Crazy
yeah, no, no, no.
ex-girlfriend pulls it off.
First 30
But then
minutes.
there is a scene where they go to the school musical that's going on, and these penguins are dancing.
The fucking
and
penguins,
the penguins
dude.
are rapping.
The mother flipper.
And here we go. Are you ready? My favorite dish is fish, mother flipper, and I eat it for the hell of it. A nice bit of halibut. And then it turns to Thoros of Myr from Game of Thrones, and he just goes, 4 weeks of rehearsals for this. It's like, and it's
Dude,
like, you know what?
seriously?
We are in musical comedy world.
The
They nailed
principal?
that. They nailed it.
The principal is amazing. Like he's the one you're waiting to die, and also his song is like classic fucking British punk. It's amazing. Like his song is amazing when he finally gets one.
It would have been, but if it was fun, I don't know. I feel like he is. I totally agree. Like he's a. We all know that actor. I can't remember his name, but he's a great actor. Obviously,
Thoros
I've seen him
of
for
Myr.
years. He's wonderful.
His name is Thoros of Myr.
Jeff, I agree, dude. Like, where was their friend again? This proverbial friend that I keep referring to, who would have listened to their whole score when they were writing it and been like, "You guys, that's this movie is the mother flipper rap." Like you needed to build from there. Don't be scared of it. Don't feel like
I mean, the Mother
don't feel
Flipper
like you're
rap was pretty
degrading
good.
yourself by not writing like funny stuff. I wanted to bring this up because I think it is I think it's appropriate. It's not a movie musical, but there is a stage version of The Evil Dead. There was a
Yes.
stage Evil Dead musical.
One of my uncle's
It's
favorite
brilliant.
musicals.
It's
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
If you sit in the first couple rows, they make you put plastic on you
Oh, yeah.
because you're going to get
You're a
blood.
splash zone. Yeah.
It's out of blood. So Evil Dead, Bat Boy. I'm trying to think of some other like horror themed musicals. Like we have to.
There's a
This is
Toxic
just a
Avenger
rule of music.
musical.
Yes, there are a couple rules of music theater that I think are important, and one of them, I love my rules, is that music theater doesn't really exist between the poles of sincerity and satire. That's where it reigns. Maybe there are exceptions to that rule that are very special, but generally speaking, it's either making fun of itself because it's absurd and ridiculous, and that's brilliant too, or it's extremely dramatic and sincere, like Sondheim and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like this movie sat in that place that so much contemporary pop music theater sits in, where they're like, aren't these songs cool? And the answer is no. I'm sorry. Right? Isn't that usually the answer?
It's.
Especially, I wrote down the sentimental songs didn't work for me. Any sentimental
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean-
Sentimental, which is sentimentality is the downfall. Yeah. Sentimentality will
I
never work.
Like
and
it's
they
really
wrote
funny
everything
because
around
like
it.
there's an interview with these guys and they brought up the Edgar Wright connection, the Shaun of the Dead
they had
connection.
to.
They're like, and they straight up admitted, okay, this is an influence, and you can see that because the song after the apocalypse, where like Anna and the friend are singing about how it's a brand new day. There is so much fucking destruction going on in the background of this scene that it's just
And
amazing.
that's
Like,
the right
man,
But
idea.
what
like,
does
the
what
watch-
That's the right
does Ed-
idea, though.
the watch
Yes,
party of this
what
was
does-
so much
yes.
fun.
Yeah,
What
I'm
does
sure.
Edgar do though? Edgar fucking knows what he's doing, and he's
Yeah.
like, "This is ridiculous. We're never going to let you lose sight of the fact that this is ridiculous. We're going to satirize the fuck out of this."
Yeah.
No, actually,
That's why he's a
in
genius.
that point, he was
I think it
completely
checks out
serious.
okay here.
It was the night before when they were doing the da 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 in Shaun of the Dead, where that was satirical. But the actual scene where he gets up and walks into the deli, that was 100% serious because there were so many serious fucking references. Like the radio broadcast from Day of the Dead happens in the middle of that scene.
See, I
Yeah,
think
but-
I think I'm with Dave on this, and I think that the musical can help because in Shaun of the Dead, you rely on good acting by fucking Benji. God damn it, what's his name? But you
Can't remember
rely
his
on-
name.
I'm very intoxicated, I guess. Okay, but anyway,
Simon
Sunday
Pegg,
night, it's
Simon
late.
Pegg, Simon
Pegg.
Sorry, thank you. So they rely on good acting from him, and he's also hungover, and he's also a worthless human being by their standards, not by mine. And by mine. But anyway, to not notice the zombie apocalypse. In this case, they basically redo the. First of all, they do all the zombie tropes that on the radio in the car. They turn the radio off after they said, like, there's a virus that's out. But then when they're walking through the suburbs and you see cars and front lawns, and you could tell, we know who have seen zombie movies, there's a zombie movie, and they're singing. That's a good explanation for why they didn't notice there's a zombie apocalypse going on around them. I think that actually checks out. So I think throughout this first 30 minutes, they could have 100% salvaged the rest, and they
Yes.
didn't because they got sentimental. But like, I think they were onto something. I know what you're saying, John, because the pop
Yeah.
songs, you never get out of your first verse. The first verse is where you introduce what it is, and then there's a chorus, and then when the chorus repeats for a song that doesn't go anywhere, then it sucks. But like, they were close. They were really fucking close, and I was rooting for them for a very long time.
I do agree with you guys. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. They were on the right page. I didn't even mind that first. It's catchy. It's a good pop song. That first, there are no happy endings. I didn't mind that song at the
Yeah.
beginning. I was like, okay, they gave me the sincere song because we're going to make fun of it as we go along. We're going to turn it on its head and we're going to point out musicals are ridiculous and this movie is ridiculous. And they didn't do that. Just to be a pretentious asshole, I'm going to read the definition of irony just to point out that Simon
What are you
Pegg scene where
doing?
he goes,
Why are you
no,
doing
hold on.
this?
Hold on. No, that scene
No,
where he,
go
because
ahead.
you're right. In Shaun of the Dead, when he
I
goes
don't have my
into that
finger on a
scene,
button right now.
ready? The use of humor, irony,
That's what she said.
exaggeration, or ridicule to expose and criticize people's stupidity or vices, particularly in the context of contemporary politics or other topical issues. So, irony and exaggeration. So, Simon goes in there and plays it in that scene. It's so overtly sincere that you kind of have, you know what movie you're watching. You know that scene is in context of the rest of that satire. So it stands out and it makes sense. This movie stayed in the moments where they were trying to do exactly what that scene does, and several others from Shaun of the Dead so brilliantly, is it stayed in that kind of, what Jeff and I know is the contemporary music theater place. It's almost like ABC Family movie, the kind of Christmas movies we were making fun of, the Netflix movies. It kind of stayed in that place. So it didn't go far enough into exaggeration for us to be able to laugh at it. I thought they were trying to actually do something serious. Whereas when Simon goes in there, yes, it's serious. Yes, he's playing it that way, and Edgar is directing it that way. And there's a dark drone underneath, that sound effect that's happening throughout that scene. So you're allowed to laugh at the serious scene in Shaun of the Dead. I don't know. I don't feel like they ever got there with this one. Is Dave frozen? No,
Nope.
he's not. He's just watching.
He's watching intently.
I'm waiting for
He's
you to
ready
fuck
to
up.
buzz you.
I'm waiting for you to fuck up. That's what I'm waiting.
Oh my God. Shaun of the Dead is a masterpiece. This movie was imitating Shaun of the Dead with music theater. I'm sorry. I don't know.
I am curious to
Staying
know
there
like,
till you
if they
drink
had a
that beer.
budget.
Staying there.
If they had a budget and if they had the right producer, I think they could have found their way, because there is some fun stuff. And kudos to Ella Hunt, because she really, really did a nice job.
did a
And some
great
of the
job.
supporting actors did.
Yeah.
You know who the do you guys ever watch Dairy Girls on Netflix, that Irish show?
No, Jeff.
No,
Jeff,
kidding?
take that.
Get the fuck- Are you out of your goddamn minds? Dairy Girls is one of the funniest shows I've seen in like 2 or 3 years.
No, I've never
It's
seen it.
about
I've never
like
heard
horny post-pubescent girls in Northern Ireland during the Troubles, and it's just like a dark comedy about it's really fucking funny. I would highly recommend it on Netflix, and there is going to be a 3rd season. Anyway, there's a you don't know because it doesn't matter. Get the fuck out of here. But one of the characters reminded me of a guy on that show. It's a very popular show around the world. Dairy Girls, check it out. Netflix, get at me.
This movie is available just for anyone who gives a shit. It's on Hulu and Prime.
Yeah.
It is. I know we're criticizing it, but like, you know, if you like music theater, it is fun. I had fun. The effects are good. The killings are good. The blood is good.
Oh, dude.
If you love zombie movies.
Seriously, like, I mean, the name, just the name of the bowling alley, Thunderballs, is my new stage name.
They get a zombie in a ball pit. They get a zombie to fall into a ball pit.
In a ball
It's really
pit.
funny.
I mean,
and then they get in the ball pit and they don't know where the zombie is. It's really funny.
the seesaw,
Yeah, they sleep
the
in the
ultimate
ball pit.
escalation. She's like, there's death by seesaw, there's death by toilet seat. Like,
Yeah.
when they get to they hide her in a fucking blow up swimming pool.
Upside down baby, like blow up swimming pool. Yeah.
Yeah, and like
Old
the old
people,
woman,
old woman
it's
sitting on her.
There's no
Yeah.
woman sitting on your face. Is she pissing? It's okay. It's plastic.
Yeah.
And her, like the control, like Ella Hunt again, the control of her face in that scene, like she knows this is fucking hilarious, and she plays it really well.
Yeah, she does, dude. No, it's worth it. I don't know if I'm going to say it's worth watching, but I'm
Okay.
very proud they
If you-
got this
if
movie
you've seen-
distributed.
okay.
And if you love music theater, I think you'll have a good time.
I just want to say, if you've seen the movie The Fog, you'll enjoy this movie.
The fuck.
Are you talking about John Carpenter's The Fog?
Yes, that really,
Oh, come on.
yeah.
Oh my
The Fog is better than this
Well,
movie.
okay. Let's do our usuals for this before we get too serious. All right. Best supporting actor, actress, and then your
Let me get
favorite
back to
funny
the
moment.
list. Let me get back to the list. I'm sorry.
I mean, the principal for me.
Ella.
I mean,
Ella
she's
Hunt?
the main
Is she-
actress.
She's
the main
not
actress.
a supporting actor, but
Yeah.
but we gave her some shout outs.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
spread the love a
principal
little bit
is
here.
the best supporting actress for me. 'Cause
Oh,
you-
the principal. I thought you meant principal
yeah,
actress.
no.
I'm sorry.
First of all, you're waiting for him to die, and then he gets this amazing fucking punk song.
Yeah, I mean, he was great. He was great.
Yeah.
I did
do you
like.
even know?
What?
I'm
Me?
looking, no, I'm
You're
looking at
talking
John.
about me?
Is he like he's like looking for actors on IMDb?
I am like searching. I'm literally
Oh.
like searching for.
Oh,
Actors.
you've been caught out.
Oh God, I don't know, you guys. I don't know.
I guess I think that the guy who
Probably
plays
the
Nick, who's
principal.
like the villain guy, I think he does a good job with what he's been given. He's not likable, but I think he's trying and he's having fun, and it's a hard line to toggle because the writing and the directing was setting it up very bad that he was the villain and we should hate him. And I thought he made her sort of acceptance with him work. So kudos to him.
Yeah, his
Get
little
him Harvard
moment where
Training.
he kind of crosses the line and he
writing was
saves
very
her.
bad.
Buzz. Yeah, thank you. Buzz,
Dave!
buzz. I kind of liked the girl.
Who
I think identifies as a girl. I think she said, "I have a girlfriend." What is her name? The blonde, with the short hair.
Steph
Yes.
North.
Yeah, I kind of liked
she was
her. I didn't like she was pimped into a weird moment
kicks
at the
some
end where
ass.
she
Yeah, there was
saves the day.
like a weird.
But I like
she did this weird accent thing, like in the awkward stuff constantly, and I feel like that could have been played differently.
I liked her in the opening song. And whenever she was dealing with stuff at the bowling alley in the opening song, but you're right. I didn't like what they gave her for the scene work as much. And I didn't like what they gave her for the ending. But other than that, I thought she was an interesting character. I wish they would have developed her more, but I thought she was a good actor. I guess my favorite kill would probably be the bowling balls, just because I've always kind of wanted to do that to somebody.
Nice.
Is that fucked up? I've always wanted to slam two bowling balls together on somebody's head and watch their head explode. Is that wrong?
What is a zombie film about without this? Really?
Come on, that's pretty good.
Let's squash some skulls. I
think it's the set piece kicking a guy into the audience of zombies is probably
the star.
Yeah,
Crowd surfing.
that's cool.
Yeah, the crowd surfing.
It's kind of like
That was
a Home
pretty
Alone
good.
gag that just kicked him in. Sorry, Dave, what were you saying? I cut you off.
No, that was all. No, you were good. You didn't cut me off.
Anna and the Apocalypse, you guys. When did this movie get distributed? 2017. So 16 have made the rounds at a bunch of festivals. I'm so proud of them. I'm so happy for them, and I hope they make more.
I think it got picked up by Netflix first of all.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's on Hulu and Prime right now. That's crazy. It's getting distributed like crazy. Good for them, dude.
Yeah.
It's fun. Again, if you love music theater, give it a shot. There's no reason you won't enjoy yourself. It's harmless. It's an hour and 33
if you like the
minutes
original
long.
musical,
It's fun.
if you like the original musical of Little Shop, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Because let's
Right,
face
yeah.
it,
It's not as good as Little Shop.
No,
it's not as good
okay,
as Little
fair.
Shop,
Yeah.
but it is fun. If you love zombie movies and you love music theater, they went for it, dude.
They gave it a go. All right. Well, we should wrap it up there with our not family-friendly Christmas movies list. Let's go ahead and tell everybody what we're going to be talking about after December 25th, after the Christmas holiday.
Yeah,
what are we going to be doing, Dave?
we're coming back on the 27th, and we're going to be doing a 2020 recap.
Yeah.
We're
Recap.
going to have some guests, maybe. We'll have some.
We'll
guests.
find some guests.
We'll
Yeah,
find some
have
guests. We'll do something.
And just to be clear to people, we watched a shit ton of fucking franchises during coronavirus.
Yeah.
So we watched like
There's a lot
20
this year.
franchises. So we have a lot of content on top of all the other stuff we did. This year.
It's not going to be a total clip show, but there's going to be a little bit of clip show.
Good.
Yeah.
And we're going to be talking about one big gigantic event movie that's coming out
Comes
before
on
the end of this year, right?
Yes. Wonder
Wonder Woman, baby.
1984.
Yeah.
We're all
You're
going to be
get the
watching
first
it.
review.
I mean, fuck my family. I'm watching Wonder Woman 1984 and 25th.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I'm so
Yeah, we
excited
get
to
to
see
force
that
our
movie.
families to watch this movie.
Yeah, we're hosting Christmas. I'm going to cook my shit and then watch this movie.
Good. So everybody else out there, watch Wonder Woman so you'll know what the fuck we're talking about. So we
Do
don't
your
have to give you
patriotic
spoiler
duty.
warnings.
Don't go outside. Don't spread the disease. Get on HBO Max and watch this movie.
Yeah.
That's
And then
good.
next
That's
year,
good.
after we've all had the vaccine, maybe we can go to the fucking cinema again.
Maybe, just maybe. I think I'm going to be
Countdown.
in phase 2.
Countdown.
Phase 2.
31 days remain until Donald Trump is no longer president. And I'm also
That's
very
right.
excited about that. So
Very, very excited.
Oh,
Joey B,
considering
let's
we
go.
blocked
Joe, stay
Trump
healthy.
in the chat, I have to buzz you.
Joey B, stay healthy. All right, people. Dave, you brought him in last week, if I remember, from Home Alone 2. Home Alone, so that was on you. Okay, people, we will see you next week. Happy Merry Christmas. Hanukkah is almost over, but happy Hanukkah if you're still celebrating. Shalom. We will see you all in a week.
Kwanzaa.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Peace.
Just shout Kwanzaa.
I did.